Well, no,
You
we
know,
were saying
Yeah,
we were
we
saying
never
giving
said
up
giving
on
up on
people.
somebody. We said
listen to me. Listen, don't
giving up
let
on
me finish.
dating.
Let me
Right.
finish. I said you guys tried to clean it up, but I listen. I don't talk. Have you noticed I'm the guy in the upper left hand corner that don't speak? I just listen to all y'all talk. And I'm an excellent listener. Excellent. A plus.
Clearly, you missed that one though.
No, I don't miss anything, brothers. Just trust me. Just play the, and everybody here will tell you, Shan
Yeah,
don't
we
miss.
run the tape.
Everybody will tell you, Shan don't miss. All right. So what was said was, you know what, giving up on dating completely and giving up on men completely and women completely. I heard all of that. I also heard how it was conveyed initially. And having the ability to not let something go that's not serving you, in fact, can be very masculine. You know, and I know that some of you guys said that it could be later on. Self-awareness is very masculine and whatnot. But we know that, you know, the lack of love does not necessarily make you weak or less masculine. Understand something. Masculinity is simply is attitudes and behaviors of men. That's all it is. It just signifies and validates your maleness. That's all it is. It's regarded as a characteristic of men. That's what masculinity is, or the lack thereof. And be honest with you, some men are guarded. There's men out there who are guarding their heart, they're guarding their money, they're guarding their time. Oh man, y'all talked a lot. Brothers be going at each other. Sometimes I think y'all be just waiting to just go at each other. Y'all don't give a fuck what somebody else say. You're gonna just be ready to scrap. Y'all having like love and hate argument, like love and hate. And I hear what you're saying, Viz. But love and hate are really on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, love is like having a great affection, and it's an emotional warmth and love, and happiness is derived from that. Whereas hate, on the other hand, it's an intense dislike or feeling of apathy, you know, towards someone or something. And I know that you were saying that, you know, love can drive somebody to do something. That's what you was referencing the movie 300 with King Leonidas, you know, and the Spartans. And their love for Sparta was so strong that they went and died for them. Knew they wasn't coming home because they hated the Greeks so much. But that you know that's like, some people say love is a verb. You know, others say love is an emotion. I think it's both. And oftentimes we can conflate one for the other. So while love may drive you to do something, which is the action, we can also discuss the emotion side of it, because that you can invoke racism. You know, there's people that hate other people, and not because they necessarily love something else more. They just hate something else. They just hate a thing. You know, some men hate BBLs. Some men hate weaves. Not because they just in love with a woman's natural afro. They just hate the fact that she's rocking weaves. And so we don't want to conflate that too often. And another thing is, you guys was mentioning giving up on something makes a person weak. I know we kind of like cleaned it up later on, adding context and whatnot, but it did come off that you guys were saying that giving up on a person is weak. Because what you're saying is, shit, never cut ties on anything that doesn't serve you.
Well, no,
You
we
know,
were saying
Yeah, we never
giving
said
up
giving
on
up on
people.
somebody.
I,
We said
listen to me. Listen, don't
giving up
let
on
me finish.
dating.
Let me finish.
Right.
I said you guys tried to clean it up, but I listen. I don't talk. Have you noticed I'm the guy in the upper left hand corner that don't speak? I just listen to all y'all talk. And I'm an excellent listener. Excellent. A plus.
Clearly, you missed that one though.
No, I don't miss anything, brothers. Just trust me. Just play the, and everybody here will tell you, Shan
Yeah,
don't
we
miss.
run the tape.
Everybody will tell you, Shan don't miss. All right. So what was said was, you know what, giving up on dating completely and giving up on men completely and women completely. I heard all of that. I also heard how it was conveyed initially. And having the ability to not let something go that's not serving you, in fact, can be very masculine. And I know that some of you guys said that it could be later on. Self-awareness is very masculine and whatnot. But we know that some motherfuckers have a lifelong rap career. Think about the brother that think that he gonna rap forever, and he's working on his bars, and he's now 45 years old working on his bars. He's been rapping since he was 20. You gotta let that go. But you're not masculine if you give up on your rap career. No, that's not necessarily true. And also, Manic the Genius, everybody on the battlefield wants to go home. Believe me when I tell you that.
Absolutely.
Okay, because you said it. If you on the battlefield and you want to go home, you shouldn't be there.
Well, if your whole intent is to go home,
the whole intent for every soldier there wants to go home. When I was getting shot at by insurgents, huh?
I think he's talking about desertion. Come on, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
I was talking about. I was talking out of context.
Does he want me to be next to him on the battlefield as his battle buddy when we getting ready to breach a cordon and search? That was Kenny's. I didn't answer him. I didn't come off the mic. I didn't come off mute. I just made a gesture, said no, I don't want that. And then I think Kenny said, he wants to go home. And I just wanted everybody to be clear. Nobody wants war. Even the most gung-ho who of soldiers that's out there don't want war. I was a super soldier. Was ready to go, ready to fight. You guys have seen the movie Black Hawk Down. That was me. 1994. So we all wanted to go home. So I just wanted to be clear about that. I get on edge when people speak on soldiers, especially combat soldiers.
Let me ask you this: would it even add even more context to say that all of the soldiers would prefer to go home at the end of the mission?
Mm-hmm.
But if we got to get the mission done, we gonna get the mission done, even if it takes our life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And nobody's left behind. But we all want to go home. We don't want to be there. Believe me when I tell you, we don't want to be. We'd rather be home with our wives, our girls, our kids. Mm-hmm. But the masculinity discussion, man, oh my God, this thing has been beaten down by so many different people, and everybody's defining masculinity. And, and the question here is, does love make you more masculine? I would say masculinity gives you the strength and the courage to love more, but masculinity and love are completely different. I'm with Kenny on that. They have nothing to do with each other. The lack of love does not necessarily make you weak or less masculine. Understand something. Masculinity is simply is attitudes and behaviors of men. That's all it is. It just signifies and validates your maleness. That's all it is. It's regarded as a characteristic of men. That's what masculinity is, or the lack thereof. And be honest with you, some men are guarded. There's men out there who are guarding their heart, they're guarding their money, they're guarding their time, they're guarding their energy, and they don't necessarily want to fall in love or be in love or get involved in that. And is that less masculine because he's protecting himself, falling into a state of being that might get him caught up?
Could it be described as fear? Could that be described as fear?
Yeah, it could be.
Is being fearful less masculine?
No, hell no. Are you kidding me?
So is courage masculine?
Well, no, not necessarily. Listen, because what I think what I'm trying to say, because and I don't want to get into the movie After Earth with Will Smith and his son, where fear is not real. We always talk about fear is not real. It's what's the acronym they say it is? The false evidence appearing real. I'm fearful. You think that we were just speaking about the battlefield? You think I wasn't afraid of dying right then and there?
No. I think the issue would be. No, I think the issue would be if your fear overrides your courage. I think fear is going to exist, but once you become fearful, I believe that it's overridden your courage, and the way I'm defining it.
And so that just means that I'm just a less courageous individual, but it has nothing to do with masculinity. Masculinity is a characteristic of maleness. And so I think what a lot of people wants to do is add on these extra attributes onto the word masculine and then say, look at you, you ain't, especially people that use it to weaponize or talk shit about somebody. You know, you get women that say that you ain't no man. See, a real man. How many times have you guys got into a discussion with a woman and she tells you what a real man will do?
Yeah, no,
I always know what a real man is. And so when we say, well, you know what, you didn't do that, so you ain't masculine. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with masculinity. And,
right.
And so and that's where I think Kenny was trying to explain to Hink. And I'll let you go in a second, Mark. Kink is like saying, fuck all y'all. If you think I'm not masculine, test me, and I'm gonna still tell my son I love him. And that's what Marcus, and I think Marcus was, I'm sorry, Kenny was talking to Hink, but I think Hink was really supporting you. He was basically saying the same thing that you were saying. And I think, Kenny, you were trying to explain that to Hink. Listen, these are completely independent of each other. One does not have anything to do with the other one. You don't think I'm masculine? Let me show you how much of a man I am. You come over here and fuck with my shit. That's what Hink is saying. But then I'm going to still love my son. Now, I'm simply saying for the guy that may not necessarily want to open his heart to a relationship with a woman, a guy that may have been burned in the past, a guy that may have lost, I think, as Trev was saying, lost all his shit that he's worked for 20 years and had to give it up because some court came and took it from him and gave it to somebody who didn't put in 1 ounce of fucking work. And he doesn't want to get involved in that kind of thing again. Does that make him less masculine? Absolutely not. That makes him more protective. In fact, some can argue that's more masculine, that he won't do that because he's being more guarded and protective of his shit. So I just don't want people to mix up. That's all I'm saying. I don't want people to mix up masculinity and your maleness and the things that comprise you and makes you a man with being fearful, with being less courageous and don't want to go to war, or maybe scared to jump and go head first or lead the way up the mountain, or get into a relationship or fall in love and be vulnerable because you're less vulnerable, you're less masculine. Bullshit. No. And I just want to make sure that we understand, we separate those two things. Masculinity and femininity has nothing to do with behavioral issues or things that makes you move or what you believe in. Or, you know, some people say, well, you know, if you're a liberal and you believe in this, you soft and you not mad. That's bullshit. That ain't got nothing to do with it. So that's all I really have to say. I just want us to make sure that we separate the two and know that masculinity, and just think about it, guys, masculinity and what makes you guys a man, you other 9 brothers on this panel, a man, has nothing to do with if you're opening your heart to be in love with a woman or not. You can be either one. You could be the guy that's been divorced 3 times and is looking for a 4th wife because you believe in the institution of marriage and you love family and you want to die with a wife. Or you can be the guy who got divorced once, burned, and never wants to get married again or fall in love again. Both of those men can be extremely masculine. It's just their preference, that how they want to move in their day-to-day behaviors. That's all I got.
I agree with you on that one.
All right.